I'm DJ Diya Anantharaman, music director and radio host of Unearthly Machine at KUCR Riverside 88.3, and I'm here with Gep and Maggie of Lunar Vacation. The band released their latest album, Everything Matters, Everything's Fire, a couple of months ago via Keeled Scales. We have convened today to chat. Good afternoon, Lunar Vacation. It's lovely to see you both. How are you guys doing on this fine November afternoon?
Doing very well. We're doing wonderful. We're driving through the mountains of California, Northern California. We came down from Portland yesterday, and yeah, we're having a great time out here.
Awesome. Let's start from the beginning. I did some digging and learned that Lunar Vacation's origin story stems from your early teen years, sharing music ideas in school, and then being brought together further by a teacher suggesting you form a band. Can you each
Yeah.
tell me a little bit more about your individual musical backgrounds and how they inform Lunar Vacation's artistic philosophy to this point?
You go first. Yeah. Well, I grew up loving pop music and female pop singers, and I just loved to sing so much. And I used to play piano when I was younger, but then I just moved to like focusing on singing. And then I started learning guitar when I was 13. And then that was right before I went to high school. So going into like my freshman year, we had a guitar class, and I really wanted a guitar class, but I wasn't in the first year. But then the second year, we got into it. But yeah. I started playing guitar at 13 also, and I grew up listening to music. My family was really into music, so I grew up listening to a lot of rock and roll. And School of Rock was my favorite movie when I was a child, and I always wanted to be in a band because of that movie. And yeah, I also joined guitar class, and that's where we met Ben, and we all went to high school together. Um, and so yeah, we all went through the music program at our high school, and that's how we all got connected. Yeah.
Very cute. Much of the music on Everything Matters, Everything's Fire is filled with warmth and nostalgic sounding reverberation. Can you tell me about your creative process on this album, along with its sonic and emotional landscapes, and how they show up through some of your songwriting, vocal, and instrumental choices?
Thank you for the nice word. Yeah. You want to take that? Yeah. Try to think. Probably say that. Well, we started. Kev had a batch of demos that ranged from like 2020 to 2023, and we started sifting through those and picking the ones that we all liked, and then we started hashing them out in our living room because we all live together. Our bassist Ben set up a home studio in our living room, and we spent about 9 months working out all the songs and trying out a bunch of different versions. And then in December of 2023, we took the songs to a studio in Athens, Georgia, and recorded them in 14 days, and did a lot of live tracking and yeah.
With each of your backgrounds in music and years of collaboration with each other, how would you say the music on Everything Matters, Everything's Fire is influenced by your past releases?
Ooh. Hmm. Well, I think like experience has been influential, like I don't know if I can pinpoint like a certain like specific um, influence, but I think just all of us like continuing to play together and write together and like grow together as friends has definitely like inspired this whole album, you know. Yeah, we definitely had to learn to trust each other a lot more just by spending most of our time together, whether it's touring or coming back home and then living in the same house. And it was definitely difficult at a lot of points because we were just a lot closer than we had been. And, sometimes that creates more tension, but I think it also yielded a higher, reward. And it felt really gratifying to be able to spend so much time together and make a record that way. Yeah. And it felt like pretty reflective of, I feel like, all of our ideas and like our personalities, like through our own instruments or own parts or anything. Like I feel like you can really feel the unity in this album.
Yeah, for sure. With warm guitars, post-punk chord sensibilities, dreamy ambience, and introspective lyrics, I can definitely see the influence bands like Yola Tango have on Lunar Vacation. Everything Matters, Everything's Fire features tracks with gazy walls of sound atop which smooth vocals and bright chorusy melodies lay, reminiscent of bands and artists like Always, Snail Mail, and Courtney Barnett to me. I'd like to know what were some of the main inspirations for Everything Matters, Everything's Fire. And this could be other music, media, literature, film, spiritual occurrences, religious epiphanies, extraterrestrial dream adventures, perhaps,
Yeah.
etc.
Well, yeah, Yellow Tango is definitely a band we all listen to a lot and pulled from for this album. Um, Also, we were referencing a lot of Radiohead for the drum sounds. Um, but aside from musical influences, I think just the like our house, living together in an old house was a big part of the inspiration, and also your cat, probably. Yeah, my cat's Science. He is like the muse on this album because he's just, the light of my life. And through through whatever goes on in my life, he's the one, constant character. Um, but yeah, I think a lot of the I don't know, like themes like friendship and acceptance and love and commentary and thinking too much, but also trying to not think as much. Things in that nature and such.
Yeah. I am interested in the album artwork for Everything Matters, Everything's Fire. I'd love to know the story behind the cover photo and why it was chosen to represent these sounds.
Yeah, my boyfriend Grant lives with us in our house. He's also a musician, and we wanted him to take the photos because we wanted it to be like a low key photo shoot. We didn't want to make a big deal out of it. We're not that good at taking photos. Yeah, and so we were like, let's just have Grant do it, and like we don't have to like, make it a big deal. And so he took a bunch of photos of us in our living room, and the one that ended up on the cover was actually through the bottom of the camera lens was through a mason jar, and it I think just like having all of us in the picture, but it's blurry, felt right. Like, this album, it was all of us coming together and living together, but I don't know. It's like we're not we don't want to be too high def. Yeah. And then our friend Leo, who's done a lot of our merch and he did our last album cover, we wanted him to add his touch to it. And so in the top right corner, there's a red cat and a red moon, and the cat is Gep's cat Science, who's kind of our cat in a way because he lives with us. And the red moon is something that Leo has put on all of the art that he's done for us so far. So on our last album cover, there's red moon, and then for single Unlucky, there's also red moon. So that's something that we wanted to keep going. So yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like a signature that way.
Yeah, totally.
That's
Yeah.
so cute. I love that. I'm also interested in the music videos for Everything Matters, Everything's Fire. The videos for Fantasy and Tom feature expansive handmade animation, and the videos for Sick and Set the Stage feature home video-esque footage and ballet juxtaposed with stark surroundings, respectively. Across the music videos for this album, I do notice common themes of surrealism as well as the homespun quality in general. Can you tell me a little bit more about the choices to include these visuals in tandem with your album's themes?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, so the first video we knew was kind of going to be the highest production one. And so we had Ben's sister, who's a ballerina, choreograph a dance, and her friend Annie came, and then Gep was in it, and our friend Fen directed it, and it's kind of like a family affair. We got everyone together pretty fast and pulled that off, and yeah, we wanted, that song is pretty huge sounding and distorted, and we did want it to be pretty surreal, but also just like features, it's so awesome that we got to work with such talented choreographer and dancers. And then the rest of the ones we knew had to be smaller budget because we spent most of our budget on the first one. And so Sick was we used our friend Evan's VHS camera and just filmed each other at our house and kind of wanted to capture our house vibe because that's kind of the part of the story for this album. So we just filmed everyone kind of like doing, Mateo was like whipping some cream and I was like, okay, this is a good time to film your part for the video. And we just like, wanted to make it kind of silly and fun and reflective of our day-to-day life.
Yeah.
And then the Tom video is our friend John Andrews, who made a video for our last album too. We just love any hand-drawn animation. And Gep told him the story of the song and the inspiration behind the song, and he just animated it.
So cool.
And it's about Gep wrote that song about a coworker they had at a grocery store job. And so if you watch the video, that context,
like the whole story just plays out exactly.
And then the fantasy visual, we reached out to, how do you say her name?
I think it's Gaia.
Gaia. We just found her and Gep found her on Instagram a long time ago.
Her work is amazing, and it's so beautiful.
Yeah,
that was just like a shot in the dark. We were like, I hope she could do it, because like we didn't know if we had enough money or if she would even want to, and she just created like the most beautiful loop. And oh my god,
I feel like I did the song so well.
It really, I think so too.
Yeah,
that was really cool to work with her.
Yeah, I feel like there's a through line of all the videos of kind of this like surreal darkness. I guess even the Sick video, most of it we filmed at night.
Yeah.
And so there's like, it's kind of like, they're joyful, but there's also, maybe it's like finding light in the darkness or something. That's kind of what it feels for all of them. So
totally.
Yeah, definitely. So Lunar Vacation's touring. What are some of the venues and locations you each look forward to playing at the most?
Well, we just finished some shows in Seattle and Portland that were awesome, and we're on our way to San Francisco right now.
Yeah.
I'm excited to play in San Francisco. I love
that city. We're playing in Vegas for the first time, which is super cool. And then we're playing at a hotel, right?
Yes.
And then we also get to stay at the hotel for free, I'm pretty sure. So I'm excited for that.
That's like never happens to us. So that's exciting.
So it's fun.
We've also, most of us have never been to Vegas. So we were just talking
we've never been.
like an hour ago on whether we're going to gamble or not, but we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. We don't have that much money, so we'll see.
Awesome. Let's talk gear. What would you say is the most essential piece of gear to the particular sound of Everything Matters, Everything's Fire?
Ooh, I have an answer.
Good question.
I have this like $100 baby Yamaha nylon guitar that all of the songs are written on. And that actually made its way onto the album a lot of times, just to have like kind of some extra texture, which we like have not done before. We don't really we're usually just electronic guitars, electric guitars, whatever. I feel like that represents itself pretty well.
I will say on the adding on to that, for like pedals and stuff, there's this one pedal, distortion pedal called the Klon.
Yeah.
That we used on a bunch of songs. And we don't actually have it on our pedal boards for the show because they're kind of expensive and kind of rare. But they had one at the studio, and as soon as we used it, we like wanted to use it on everything.
Yeah.
So that was the star of the pedals for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, totally.
Definitely. So for the last question, I normally ask people what music gear they'd bring if they were stranded on a desert island. But in this case, I'm going to ask if you were each headed on a lunar vacation and could only take 3 pieces of gear with you each.
3? Okay.
And why?
Ooh.
Okay, I would bring my lefty Jag wire that I play. And I guess that means I'd have to bring an amp. I don't really care what amp. I'm not very partial to amp. And then maybe like, if I have to, it's hard to pick one pedal.
I know.
maybe if I could just bring my whole pedal board,
No.
I'd be fine. But if not, maybe like my MXR delay pedal.
I was gonna say,
Yeah,
that would be cool.
Yeah,
that's a good one.
What would you do?
I'd have to bring my baby nylon because I worship that thing. I would also probably bring like one of the toy Yamaha little keyboard piano or the Casios. Those are really cool. And like probably some kind of recording contraption,
like a 4-track or something.
A 4-track if I ever learn how to use one, because right now I just use my phone, which is so like not cool. I'm like, oh, I want to be cool, but I have to use my phone. And the app BandLab, because that's what all the demos are recorded on. So
yeah, I don't know if I've heard of that one.
Yeah,
it's like off-brand
garage band. Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. It's just like I think I used it in place of GarageBand like once a few years ago, and I just never. I'm like, that's what works, I guess.
Never looked back.
So, yeah.
Awesome. Thank you all so much for chatting with me.
Yes, thank you.
So much
thanks for bearing with us with all the
Yeah, it's
complications.
nice
Yeah.